Welcome to another edition of Bear Down with Brian Jeffries. That would be me. The better looking gentleman to my left, maybe your right, is John Court, head gymnastics coach at the University of Arizona. For those who don't know, and I think most of you do, John just finished his second season as head coach, but his history with the Wildcats goes back over 20 years as an assistant. So a man who bleeds red and blue, probably better than anybody. And John, first of all, thank you for joining us today. And the first question I like to ask on these visits is, in this uncertain time now, checking in to make sure your staff and all your athletes, your student athletes are doing well right now.
Well, thanks for having me on, Brian, and that's a great way to tee it up. Right now, as a gymnastics program, we're continuing to stay engaged, stay in touch with all of our athletes. We use all the resources that are available to us. Mostly, it's the Zoom calls that we do every week. We do a giant team one, and we also do 15-minute to 20-minute individual check-ins every other week, and as well as text messages and phone calls for the athletes. That's just what we do, as our coaching staff, our support staff still has a regular scheduled meetings. It could be with the trainers or the academic staff. A lot of resources in Arizona. They stay in touch with everybody. And as a staff, we still have to do our end of the year planning with the season ending, even though it was cut short. And we're also working on the onboarding process and the transition of bringing in all the new athletes for next year. So it's really finishing up one successful season and getting ready to start another, because another season will start, and we want to be ready for that.
Your season ended just prior. You had one more meet left, and then on to the Pac-12 championships after that. Take us through that week there when all sports came to a stop.
Well, we were cruising. We had a really good homestand, really good last away meet at Berkeley. We had, I think, 4 meets in a row over 196, which we haven't done in a long time. We felt that we had the team to really make a good run at Pac-12s. Also in the postseason, we were a lock. We had improved so much. Average-wise, we were ranked 22nd at that point in time. And when we were called back to campus, we were actually in the airport. We were in Tucson Airport, and luckily our flight was mechanically delayed. So we missed our connection, and we said, okay, we're going to go back, and we'll go back to campus. Everyone take 8 hours, and we'll leave again on a night flight. We were headed out to Boise State, and during that early part of the afternoon, talking with their administration and just talking about the odds that, hey, we might not get out, and we just might not get out today, but this could really be shut down here. And in constant communication with our athletic department, and they said, where are you guys? And I said, actually, where we made it back to campus, and we're fine. And that's when we found out we're shutting everything down on the short term. And then you have to break the bad news to everybody. Everyone reads everything on social media now anyway, but we had a team meeting a few days later, and we had to tell everybody the season was over, and that was hard. It's hard if you're a senior, you've been here for 4 years or 5 years. It's hard if you're a coach. You put everything into the year. All coaches know, a lot of people know that we don't plan our seasons right when they start. We plan them 2 years in advance, up to that point. And so it was hard. It was hard. It was hard for the freshmen. It was hard for them. They never experienced a postseason run. So there were a lot of emotions there. That's for sure on everybody's part, and that's what's expected. Everyone was sad, but everybody was happy with the results. And I didn't want to diminish the fact that we have done so much in 12 months, because I didn't want that to. I wanted that to be the shining light. Look at all the things that we've done. Yes, it was very, very unfortunate that we had to finish early. Everyone had to finish early, so everyone was going through that emotion. But I wanted to focus on that big picture, focus on the entire season from the time they came back in the summer. They were doing the hard conditioning things that Rob, our strength coach, and doing the sports performance sessions with Alex Auerbach, to the training in the gym and everything, and all the things that we did to become a better team, become a better program. And that was so important. And the desire was there, the athletics was there, the gymnastics was there. And if you came to a meet in McHale or you watched this online, you saw a different group of young women that were out there performing at a very, very high level and being competitive at every single meet. And that was something that, when that stopped, that was hard. That was certainly hard. And I've been coaching for a while. I've never had that type of stoppage, and there's no playbook on it. There is no playbook on it, and you just have to use the resources you can. You really have to trust where you are, trust the people around you, trust your administration to be like, hey, this is what's best, and it was what was best. And we can't wait to regroup and certainly get back out there as soon as we can.
All right. Not too often that you're thankful for mechanical problems on an airplane, but that turned out to be one of those blessings that.
Yes. Yeah. I hate to say it, but that flight usually gets delayed out of Tucson to Phoenix. So it's pretty consistently delayed. So.
You have one international player on your roster. Maddie's from Australia, and for a lot of the student athletes in all the sports that were looking to get home, it wasn't easy. What is Maddie's current spot in the world right now?
Maddie's current spot in the world is she's here in Tucson. She had a fantastic career here at Arizona. Just someone who has improved every single year. Really made a mark and hit a lot of her just personal and academic goals by the time she finished. Unfortunately, she ruptured her Achilles in the last home meet of the year. She competed a few events and then was hurt in warm-ups, and that was very, very unfortunate. And that's the sad part about college athletics. Unfortunately, the injuries and the timing. And she was able to finish her senior night. She came out on crutches with her parents, and no one could stop crying. But we still had to go. We still had to play and finish out that event on floor exercise, which we were able to do and beat Ohio State at the same time. She's doing good. Her rehab's been going well, but she couldn't leave the country. Flights had stopped. So right now she's on pace to graduate in the fall, and we're doing everything that we can as a department to make sure that she gets home when it's safe.
All right, that's great news. Hey, John, when you were growing up, what was your favorite sport?
My favorite sport growing up, probably baseball. I would say I used to wrestle, and I played basketball, played baseball, played football, but I really enjoyed baseball up to a certain point in time, and I actually I just stopped playing full court basketball about 3 years ago, and had enough of that over at the rec center and Bear Down Gym, our faculty staff games.
I've heard some great stories about those games. Most of them probably aren't true, but you guys had a lot of fun.
Well, it's definitely the grab and hold league. I think Lute Olson tagged that since his staff was going over a lot. So.
Okay. You first studied at Johnson & Wales, and I bring that up because it was just a personal thing. I happened to accidentally walk onto that campus a few years ago, having no idea that school existed. And I always like to, when I discover something new, I like to investigate more. And it's a really neat school. What drew you there?
To J&W, it was a good location in Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm from Rhode Island. And I went to a JC for a couple of years. Came out of high school, did not quite know what I wanted to do. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the best GPA, so I knew I wasn't gonna get into a lot of places. So I went to Johnson & Wales. I had a really good business program. I wanted to be a marketing major, and went down there. I liked the curriculum. I liked the location. It was a little bit of city life, and they had a very good academic structure, which I enjoyed. And I was able to graduate pretty early and boosted that GPA up, and then went to grad school.
Okay, great. Hey, you mentioned keeping in touch with your players, and gymnastics is a team sport, but things can be done individually in terms of staying in shape and so on. And what have you asked of your players, and as you keep in contact with them as far as their off-season training goes?
Well, right now we can't require anything, so everything is voluntary. And once we went home, the biggest transition was the transition to online classes and just the personal health and balance piece. That was our biggest focus. But athletes can't sit still. They always want to know, hey, what do I need to do to get better? So a lot of people don't have access to gyms. Some people have access to home gyms. So it was really doing people doing cardio things at home, getting outside, doing walks if there's grass. Maybe do some sprinting and doing a lot of exercises that are just using your body weight. I always say nothing beats old-fashioned chin-ups and push-ups. If you can do that, do your core work, and all of those things you can do at home.
Okay. Tallest gymnast you have ever coached?
Tallest gymnast. That might be, let's see. It could be Justin Salter or Ali Hay. They were 5'9" and 5'11".
Okay.
I believe.
And is that unusual? Because anybody that follows gymnastics knows that most of the student athletes are shorter in stature, which I assume is a good attribute if you want to be a gymnast, but that doesn't eliminate someone who might be.
No, we don't. Everybody's welcome. And the average height of our team, I think, is 5'5", 5'6" right now. So we're still pretty close to that. And the sport has so much artistry, and judges really appreciate the long lines. And if you can do the sport, and if you're able to show the artistry, but you also have the tumbling factor, the power factor, it doesn't matter what height you are. That's for sure. It matters that you can go out there, you can perform, and you can grow in the sport. That's what we're going to go after when we recruit. But we had to actually add bar height extenders because the taller athletes would hit the bottom of the mat. So we had to put the bars up a little bit higher. So it was a little bit challenging with the taller ones for sure. But we compensated okay.
So for a fan that has not been to a gymnastics meet, it's fascinating to watch because there are so many different things to watch during the meet. But so I want to ask your advice for a fan who has never been to a gymnastics meet and they go to McHale next season. What should they be looking for? How can they most enjoy it?
Appreciate the show and appreciate the athleticism. Best athletes on campus, bar none, the things that they do when they are out there. It's a 90-minute competition. We've done some fantastic things at marketing, so you will be able to enjoy the experience from the time that you get your ticket scanned to come into McHale. We're doing things up on the upper concourse now, everything from just face painting to picture zones. We're doing things with social media. When those lights go out and they run out of the tunnel, you're going to experience a show. You're going to see 4 really good events. You're going to feel the excitement. You're going to recognize some of the music that the athletes perform in their floor routines. Your kids are probably playing it around the house and dancing to it. And you're just going to appreciate the high flying athletes, the sticks, the camaraderie, just people enjoying their time there in the arena. You're going to see athletes that care, athletes that want to get better and just love competing in McHale. It's always been that way, and we have a little bit of a larger team, and it's always loud down there on the floor. It's a totally different experience on the floor when you get that best seat in the house, and you're down there on the couch. You hear everything and you see everything. So I'm sure it's exciting when you're that low, but definitely encourage everyone to come out. We love when McHale gets filled up, and that's one of our goals is to keep our attendance rising so we can compete at that national level. Just for attendance, everything matters.
Right. So what's on your playlist? You mentioned the players choose their music. What do you listen to?
Well, I usually don't listen to what the players listen to, and that's no secret. I definitely have satellite radio. I don't even know the last time I actually listened to the radio with music. And for me, I have 80s playlists, 90s playlists. Usually comes out of that genre, I would say. But anything that's around there, I like old house music, hip hop, R&B, some rap, but not old rap. When I came to Tucson, I learned to adapt to country music. I had to do that. And that's okay. I like some of that, and but I could go anywhere from the Temptations to LL Cool J, you name it, during a certain time frame. Well, has to have a beat though, and I have to be able to hear the words.
Got it. I got you.
Yeah,
Hey John, I know everyone admires your longevity, the great job you've done as an assistant, now as a head coach. The program is in fantastic shape, and really for the fans who have not been there. It is a gymnastics meet is unlike anything else you probably will see in athletics. And so we look forward. I know the fans look forward to being back in McHale next season, and stay well and pass along our best to your team.
I will do that, Brian. Thank you for having me on Bear Down.
All right. John Court, head gymnastics coach at the U of A. That's this week's edition of Bear Down with Brian Jeffries. We'll see you again next time.